this is NRCV-EE module, a special module on leadership, VE 733, it is a 1 credit module. I will say more about logistics, right. I hope everyone is in the right place, right, for the course. So let me introduce the speaker first. We have Pravrajika Divya Nandapranaji, and she has been interacting with IIT for at least I would say last 2 to 3 years. She is an excellent speaker, very motivating person. She has spoken on a number of occasions at IIT through talks organized by Vivekananda Study Circle, other groups on campus, on a variety of topics, which are relevant to students and not just being effective here but also in long term. She is a monastic member of Ramakrishna Sharda Mission, and she is based in Delhi, very close to IIT Delhi. There is a school, Nivedita Vidya Mandir. She is principal of that. She is also editor of a journal called Sambit, and she is very well versed not only in traditional Indian scriptures or knowledge, but also in modern science. She has spoken not just in IIT but also abroad in many universities, on various forums, on a variety of topics, right. And one such topic is the topic of this course. She also took a class module last year on science of happiness. Anyone did that module? Yeah, right. And I think we received a really good feedback from students. We thought this is another opportunity for students to delve deeper into another topic. Let me also say a little bit about the course itself. So this is the title of the course, as you would have seen in the email, is Karma Yoga, Art of Effective Leadership, right. And right, I mean many of us would have read about the term Karma Yoga and people might have their different interpretations, but in this course I think the primary focus would be twofold, that understanding what is the right action, right, and also how does that right action help us take the right decisions, right. So those two things are very important, and the course will delve both into the philosophical aspects of it, understanding karma or action, right, what does it mean, what is the right in what context, from a philosophical perspective but also from a practical perspective, right. I feel as students, when I remember my undergrad in IIT Bombay almost 20 years back now, right, there are so many choices, right, so many choices in terms of what to do, when to do, time management, listening to seniors or professors, right, and it gets very confusing, especially in first or second year, even later, and not just here, later on when you go for jobs, research, right, what are the right decisions. And I feel that it's both, it's opportunity as well as a challenge. It's a challenge because we don't know what is right and what is wrong. It's an opportunity because if we take the right decision, then we are set on the right path to be effective, not just for ourselves but also for the world or the society in the long term, right. So hopefully this course will delve deeper into those specific aspects from a student perspective, as I said, from a philosophical perspective also, but also taking examples from student life, what kind of challenges or dilemmas that we face and how do we really handle with them. It will also involve talking about great leaders from India and abroad, right, what people have thought about and how they have been effective, taking their examples, right, and right, so this is sort of the gist of the course.
Satoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya om shanti shanti shanti. I welcome all of you to this course. You heard about the details from Parag sir. I would just like to mention 1 or 2 points before we start. We are keeping the course entirely interactive, which means you can stop me at any point and ask relevant questions. We have a huge syllabus to cover because there are certain points which NRCV wants me to cover in this course. So I will be continuing accordingly, but if you have more doubts, you can always meet us separately or you can ask the question right here. All right? This is one thing, and then this course is spread out over 9 sessions. In each session I am trying to club 3-4 related topics. You just heard briefly about the topics. Let me also mention them here. First of all, we will be discussing what karma is. Is it the same as action? See, most of our life we are only going to do action, isn't it? Action is everything. And what exactly is karma then? Does it mean the same thing? The definition, the types of action that we do, the effects of these actions, all this we will be discussing exhaustively. We usually don't think too much of the effects, we only want the immediate consequence, isn't it? That's why we perform actions, but every action throws a lot of effects. So we will be studying all of that. Then we will be studying the right and wrong of an action. You see, when you have to take a decision, you must know the right and wrong of it, isn't it? So it is important to study the ethics behind karma. Theory of ethics we will be studying. And we will also be studying the theory of causation. I don't know if you have heard of it. Causation theory is fundamental to it. It's the universal law of karma. So we will be studying that. In addition, we will be studying the concept of duty. What does duty mean? And what does swadharma mean as a result? And IIT students के लिए swadharma क्या है? Especially I have been asked to focus on this. What would be your swadharma? What should be your duty towards your family, towards your nation, towards the world as a whole? And what should you prioritize in your life? How should your decisions be? What is it that is making you take those decisions? And how are you going to regulate all those factors? What should be the criteria used for taking decisions? And also, how do you develop your willpower to implement those decisions, to execute whatever you decide? So development of willpower will be a very big session, maybe 2 sessions in this module. All this we will be studying. In addition to this, we will also be studying the lives, incidents from the lives of great leaders, just to show you examples. And we will be drawing insights from the Bhagavad Gita. Because as you know, Bhagavad Gita is a very practical manual for Karma Yoga, isn't it? You see where it is laid out, it's laid out in a battlefield. And it is giving you tremendous insights as to what duty means. And what the duty of a soldier. You see there Arjun is a soldier and he is being provoked, he is being urged to fight and kill. And so how this becomes the duty of a soldier, and this is positive karma for the soldier. So how all this works, all this we will be exhaustively discussing. Now as I told you, you can ask questions in the middle but make them very relevant to the topic. You understand? Because every session we are going to cover a lot many things. Now first of all, let me start with, you will also be studying how to make choices. You see, when you have to make a decision, you have to come to certain definite choices, isn't it? How do you make choices? How choices work for you? How free is your ability to make a choice? Is there something called a free will, or it's all conditioned free will? You must have heard this word free will. स्वाधीन इच्छा जो कहते हैं, वो है या actually नहीं है? Because there's a huge debate whether it's all determinism or is it all predetermined, or is there something called free will? Can I make the ultimate decisions of my life, or are there forces holding me back? What are the causal equations of karma? What are the consequences of actions? How do I set the ball rolling, and what happens as a result? Why do we find ourselves in this particular place today? You see, you are in a position, very advantageous position, where you are getting some of the very best things of life. You are in IIT, you are getting the best exposures in knowledge, and you have a great future ahead of you. So if you set the right forces in motion, you can do enormous work. You will be the leaders of tomorrow. All this will be placed in the context of leadership. How you will be the great leaders of tomorrow, how you will be able to take great decisions for our nation, for the globe as a whole, and what are the qualities of leadership, the qualities of excellency in human life. All this will be, the subject matter of this course will be placed in the context of leadership. Okay, so this is what we are going to study. Let us start with the basic definitions. What is karma? Karma, is it just work? Any action is karma, or is there something more? Think and see. Any action, can it become karma? और जब हम बहुत बार हम ऐसा यूज़ करते हैं कि ये मेरा कर्म है, क्या करें? So we mean it in a very specific sense. कुछ हमें चाहिए था, वो नहीं हुआ, तो बस कर्म की वजह से नहीं हुआ. So in the past I set into motion something which is not getting me what I want just now. So then what exactly is the definition of karma? You see, karma comes from the Sanskrit dhatu kr. इसका मतलब है करना, to do. To do something is karma. So then many things are doing. You see, your mobile phone, all the time it's doing your shopping, it's doing your banking, it's doing your teaching and learning, everything. So is it doing great karma? Or your laptop? or say a waterfall, is it doing great karma? They are all doing actions. But कब हम उसको कर्म कहते हैं? When they are doing it with awareness. If something is doing it with awareness, then only it becomes karma. Your laptop or your mobile phone is programmed to do a particular thing. So it is not exactly doing karma. If you are doing it willfully and with awareness, then it becomes karma. It is going to generate karma phal, uska ek effect hota hai. If you have just programmed something to do work for you, that thing is not generating karma. This is the difference. समझ में आ रहा है? For something to become karma, what is required? First of all, a living agent. Yes? And willful action, not compulsive action. Willfully done. A self-aware entity performing willful action. So it is a volitional operation. Volition का मतलब है willing. It's a volitional expression and then you call it karma. So यही difference है action में, which you see in nature, everything is acting, everything is in motion. But a human being can generate karma through karma phal, only because it is under his will and he is a self-aware entity. This is the point. ये बहुत सुंदर तरीके से भगवद गीता में दिया गया है. This is given in the Bhagavad Gita, the factors which make an act a karma. Adhishtanam tatha karta, karanam cha prithak vidham, vividhascha prithak cheshta, daivam chaivatra panchamam. This is the shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, which means to say, Adhishtanam, first of all, there must be a body or a mind to do the work, a living entity. Karta, a living entity with functioning as an agent for the work. Adhishtanam tata karta, karanam, using faculties, you are using your sensory and motor organs to do work. Karanam cha prithak vidham, vividhascha prithak cheshta, using all various faculties, you are functioning through them. And daivam chaivatra panchamam means there is an element of daivam here actually means the latency of past action, or you can say the ability to produce fruit which comes through divine will. Any action, if it is producing a certain fruit, then it is called a karma. If it is capable of producing karma phal. आप देखो ना, a waterfall is not going to get karma phal. Your mobile is not going to get karma phal with all the work it is doing. But you are going to get the results of your actions. समझ में आ रहा है? That means what? That means you are in charge of your actions. Once you are a major, you are responsible for your actions. There is an element of choice in every action. It has been willfully done. You may say, no, it was impulsive and compulsive. We will study impulsiveness, compulsiveness, all this exhaustively because we are going to study the psychology of all these aspects. That is what is practically useful to you. And of course, a bit of philosophy also we are going to study. But exactly how do we come to perform action, how the intention behind our action decides the fruit of that action. You understand? The intention of your action decides the fruit of that action. Like this we are going to study Karma Yoga. And it is most in-depth study of Karma Yoga you will find in the Gita, because as I told you, it is a manual not just for invoking the Rajasic spirit in Arjun, it is an actual manual for effective leadership. It is a manual for effective work, for character development, and so it throws enormous insights into all of this. So through the Bhagavad Gita we will try to study. One thing, let me make it very clear here. You see, once you understand the ideal of Karma Yoga, you can use a work either to bind you, karma either to bind you or to liberate you. What is the meaning of this? Karma ek hi cheez hai. The action is only one. I can perform it, if I perform it with the right motive, the right intention, that very karma, that very work will lead me to excellence. It will lead me to all good here. You know, everything in your life depends upon your performance of work, the performance you are able to show. Isn't it? Who's a leader? The best performer is the leader. Isn't it? आपका कर्म ही आपका परिचय है. That is your signature. That is your distinctness. Your work shows who you are, how your mind is working, what capacity of sustained concentration you have. So it is actually defining you, is a defining element about you. So how you perform your action and what is the result of that action, that decides how successful you will be in life. So this is the basic psychology of success also, which we will be studying. If I have to be an effective leader, I must be able to handle my mind in such a way that the net effect is so positive, something so effective, that naturally people are able to follow you. You see, a leader is a person whom people naturally follow, not out of compulsion, isn't it? So for this capacity to come in, you must be to a great extent in charge of your personality, in charge of your decisions perfectly. ऐसे वैसे choices नहीं करते जैसे आपने IIT को चुना, और rather IIT ने आपको चुना. Why? You had sufficient marks, isn't it? You had the sufficient capacity to come in here. So also, if you are able to make conscious choices, then only you become a high performer, then only you become a leader, and you create a great destiny. If you are not able to make conscious choices, you are driven to make choices, you only create fate. पता है? Fate का मतलब यही है. Consciously nothing happened. Various forces drove me towards a particular destination, so it's my fate. If you are aware, alert, wide awake and willful, the will is well developed, and you focus on a particular goal, so you see concentration, will, discrimination का मतलब है विवेक. If all this is well developed, you will be a natural leader, and this is the secret of leadership actually. So कर्म योग actually helps you develop leadership qualities. अगर ठीक तरह से समझो कर्म योग को, it will take you very far in life. A leader has this naturally, foresight, farsight, even hindsight, able to see all sides together. So this capacity will come as you go on understanding karma yoga and performing it accordingly. You see, karma yoga is all about performance, but here we are going to study how to perform so that it becomes a yoga. योग का मतलब ही क्या है? योग का मतलब is it is going to unite you with a great goal. If you can convert your everyday action into a means to unite yourself with something very elevating, some high purpose, a great goal in your life, bringing a lot of good to other people, running a company in such a way not just you meet with the profit expectations of the company, but running it inspirationally so that people take inspiration from you, affecting good to a large number of people, maximizing the happiness of countless people. If you can work in such a way, you see your karma has become yoga there. It will take you very high even in spirituality. तो कर्म योग का मतलब यही है, in some way you are able to convert your everyday action into a method for elevating your consciousness, achieving a great goal in life. तब वो योग बन जाता है, वो सिर्फ कर्म नहीं रहा अब. You understand? When you enter your workplace, you will see 9 to 5 job. Most of the time, most of the energy has gone into work. If you can find a means to convert work in such a way so that this 9 to 5 job itself brings you the highest success here and great fulfillment within, Abhyuday and Nishreyas it is called in Sanskrit. If it can bring you both of this, then Karma Yoga study has been fulfilled. This is the purpose of Karma Yoga. तो उसके लिए स्टेप बाय स्टेप हम जाएंगे. सी द वेरी आइडियल ऑफ कर्म योग इज, दो चीजें हैं. व्हेन हाउ डू यू कन्वर्ट अ कर्म इनटू अ योगा? दो चीजें क्या है? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द डिटैचमेंट ऑफ द विल. यू नो, एक्शन इज अबाउट विलिंग. यस, वी लर्न दिस, एक्शन इज अबाउट विलिंग. इफ दैट विल इज अ लिटिल डिटैच्ड फ्रॉम व्हाट? Detachment is always of the will. Detached from what? From merely personal gain. If it is a little detached from that, if it is able to contribute to others, if it doesn't simply hoard things for itself, you will see whatever action you do becomes of the nature of yoga. इसके लिए थोड़ा analysis of human personality also we will do. What is the human personality structure like? Why should I not expect the best for myself? Why should I share it with others? Why should I contribute to others? Then only if my karma is going to become a yoga, why should I do all of this? So this question also, this also we will be dwelling upon. Any karma will become a yoga if naturally it is disposed towards, not just towards yourself or your ego, but it is for a larger consciousness. It's for a larger section of humanity. Then you will see your action itself becomes a means to your liberation, a means towards an elevating goal in life. This is a possibility. You can convert karma into yoga. Your job itself is enough to take you to the highest goals of life. So this is the ideal of karma yoga. Before we go into the characteristics of leaders who have successfully done this, let me tell you a few effects of your actions. क्योंकि बहुत बार क्या होता है, we may know a lot about karma yoga, we have heard of this and that, but basic thing about karma we do not know. Whenever you perform a work, certain effects are thrown out. Usually you don't pay attention to the effects. See, now suppose you are studying for an assignment and your friend comes and says he wants to be helped with something, some mathematics problem. You help that friend. Now you don't think of anything beyond helping him, isn't it? He asked for help, you helped him. Now in this small action of helping your friend in his particular problem, you know how many effects are being thrown out. With this example, let me tell you the effects. You see, the very first effect is you helped your friend, उसने अच्छा किया अपने exam में, so that is the good fruit of that action. That by helping your friend, there's an external effect, he did well in his exam. You know only this much. Usually the external effect is visible, isn't it? Any work you do, if you sweep this room, the room will be swept. You helped your mother with her laundry, that will got cleaned. That external effect is visible. But इसके साथ और एक चीज भी हुई है. With what motive you helped your friend, that has become a sanskar in your mind. Please try to see this. आपने जिस motive से आपके friend को help किया, that has become a strong mental impression in your mind. See, you might have helped your friend because he is your friend, isn't it? He asked for help. So this friendship, caring, sharing, this became a sanskar in your mind. ये आपको help करेगा, आपको generous बनाएगा. Generosity became your nature as a result of that action. Or you might have helped that friend because your teacher told you to help him. So then here, what will be the sanskar in your mind? Obedience to the teacher, not friendliness. That became a sanskar in your mind. Or you might have helped your friend because just expecting that, well, when I have a problem, he will help me. Then barter became a sanskar in your mind. You understand? आपका motive क्या था उस action के पीछे? Accordingly your sanskars are created. That is why भगवद गीता में बार बार बोलते हैं intention and motive is so important. That is the internal effect of that particular work. Any work has two effects. External effect is visible. You get the external effect immediately. Kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Immediately you know the external effect. The internal effect is it has generated a very good, very solid mental impression for you. A sanskar has been created in your mind. This is the second effect of the work. And there is a third effect also, which is not at all visible. What is the third effect? It's called a cosmic effect. उसको कर्माशय कहते हैं. इसका मतलब है, if you do a good act with a good intention, at some point of time it will come back to you. When you need help, you will get help. This is Newton's third law of motion, isn't it? For every action there is equal and opposite reaction. हम बहुत बार हम सोचते हैं, well, if I do a good action, what do I get out of it? You see, this third law, third aspect of this, it is irrefutable. Whatever force you put into motion, it is going to come back to you. It will naturally come back to you. What you sow, that you are going to reap. So this is the third effect of karma. इसको अदृष्ट कहते हैं क्योंकि ये दिखाई नहीं देता. You are not able to see this third effect of work. Why are you not able to see it? Because it's a cosmic effect. You have thrown out a positive force, it will come back to you at some point of time. You see, today you are in such good circumstances and situation. You are having such a wonderful education. All this is a result of very good karma in the past. Obviously, it comes back to you as good effects. At any point of time, it can come back to you. So you see, you have put these forces into motion. So what are the three effects of karma? First is the physical and immediate effect, the external effect. Okay, it's quite visible. The second effect is it creates the sanskars in your mind. Action immediately creates your mental attitudes. संस्कार का मतलब क्या है? Mental impressions, attitudes, tendencies, traits. इसी को हम संस्कार कहते हैं. And the third effect is you have put a force into motion which will come back to you at some point of time. Whether it's a positive action or negative action, you will get the effect of that action. At some point of time, at some point in space, it will come back to you. So these are the three effects of karma. ये preliminary है, ये आपको जानना चाहिए. Usually beyond the first effect, nobody goes. Your performance is most important. What you do, what you show, you will get results accordingly. Not just that much. The other two also are going to work for you. So be careful, be alert. किसी भी एक कर्म में ये तीनों effects होते हैं. Then, after this we will go into why exactly are we working? Why do people work? They want to do karma yoga. भारत में तो बहुत सारे लोग आपको मिलेंगे जो कहेंगे whatever I am doing is karma yoga only. But you know, usually you are working because rajas एक element होता है मनुष्य के system में. That sort of pushes you. You can't keep still for long. It pushes you towards action. So you see, it's a constitutional necessity for most people to work. So work, learn the art of working in such a manner that you are able to elevate yourself through that work. यही तो कर्म योग है. Work you will do. We will go beyond impulsiveness, compulsiveness and study the art of working. But you see, at any given point of time, your natural tendency will be towards work, moving outward. So Karma Yoga is a way of changing the subject by objective means. So this impulse of rajas in us can be converted into a yoga of changing the subject, changing you through your work. So this is the ideal of Karma Yoga. And also there is an obligatory moral duty for you towards society, towards the people of the world, towards everyone on this earth, because you have drawn so much from society. Do you acknowledge that? आप थोड़ा सोच के देखो, today you are 18 or 20 or 24, whatever. So many years, who has provided for you? The homes you live in, the objects you use, the ideas that you think, they are all due to the labors of others. आपने क्या दिया है अभी तक? For a simple plate of food to come in front of you, do you know how many people have labored? At least 15 people have labored. So please see this, it's mandatory, it's obligatory for you to contribute. You must do it. It's not that we stand on a high pedestal and say, मैंने ये किया, ये दिया. No, I have taken so much unconsciously in building my system, building this body and mind. We have taken so much from this society, from this culture, from the world, from the labors of others, that I have to give back. I have to make my contribution. So it is nothing great to do karma yoga. ये आपको करना ही है, देना ही है, जीवन है ही देने के लिए. अगर this point, if we are not able to digest that the meaning of life is to be able to give, fulfillment lies in being able to give, then you have not grasped the spirit of karma yoga. जो कर्म योगी होते हैं वो देने में ही उनकी खुशी होती है, लेने में झिझकते हैं वो. जितना लोगे उतना you will see the mind contracts, and जितना दे सकोगे the mind expands. Happiness just pours into that mind. So the natural impulse of a karma yogi is to give as much as possible. You see, in today's world, on this planet, I think the population of this planet is 7.3 billion just now. In that 1/7 the world is still reeling under impoverishment, reeling under poverty. There is so much to do in so many ways. Wherever you will be, there is so much you can contribute. And if this hobby of contributing, doing good to others, bringing benefit to others, helping others, if this doesn't become part of your life, karma yoga पढ़ने का कोई मतलब नहीं है. This natural tendency should come in. Only this is going to go with me. जो कर्म हम करते हैं ना, that is your permanent account in a way, your permanent credit in a way, because that not only brings you success here, it builds your character. It takes care of the third effect of karma. It generates your destiny. So be careful about karma. At any given point of time, you should be able to say, I am a contributor. I take pride in being able to contribute. I take pride in serving. I don't take so much joy in getting, but I take pride in serving, in giving. If you are able to give, you will always be happy. So this is the spirit of Karma Yoga. Also try to understand that one grows into a civilized human being only through social participation and conscious participation, isn't it? Because we live as a society, we live together, there is exchange at the physical level. You see, the food you are eating is created by somebody. The ideas you are thinking is created by somebody, invented by somebody, isn't it? So you are using all of this, which means what? We are connected. So you must make your contribution. It is only obligatory, mandatory on your part to do this. This is the spirit of Karma Yoga. Another thing which people have all kinds of strange ideas. I am sure this group doesn't have it, but they feel that karma to well बहुत preliminary stage है, हमें तो योग चाहिए. You know, many people come and tell us this. But the Bhagavad Gita gives you the very simple, you can say, solution, answer to this. Na karmana manarambhat naishkarmyam purushoshnute, Bhagavad Gita says, which means if you have not entered into work and exhausted yourself out with work, you cannot reach the state of actionlessness. It's not so easy. हम जो योग कहते हैं या वेदांत कहते हैं, it will come naturally if you are, अगर आप कर्म योग में प्रतिष्ठित हो जाओ, it will come naturally to you, this understanding. But if you try to escape work, you know, lazy people are trying to escape work all the time, you will get nothing. So the preliminary thing is to usher you into action, to invoke your energies for social welfare, for the good of others. This is the very purpose of Karma Yoga. Now, one more thing is, you see, when you enter your workspaces tomorrow, any company you enter, any corporate, there will be CSR initiative. You know, today multinational companies have billions of dollars they spend on CSR. Why? Have you heard of CSR? Yes. Corporate Social Responsibility. Why do they do it? बहुत प्रॉफिट हो गया, आप डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना इसलिए करते हैं. What is CSR? Social responsibility. Everyone should feel this sense very intensely. At least 2% of the profit of every company has to go into maximizing social support systems. It has to go, because you have taken from that society. What you are today is due to the labors of others. आपको पता है विवेकानंद ये बार बार बोलते थे. Once he said, as long as even a dog in my country is hungry, I hold every man a traitor who, having been educated at the cost of the poor of our country, pays no heed to them. As long as even a dog in our country is hungry, your job is to feed him. So we have very powerful leaders in our culture who will point out to you the very purpose of Karma Yoga. Let me go a little into leadership now. What are the qualities required for you to effectively do Karma Yoga so that the leadership in you flowers out? Who is a leader? जो top position पे है वो automatically leader है. Who is a leader? Do you have any definitions of a leader? You see, a leader is basically a visionary who sees something more than what others see. You understand? He sees something more than what others see, and he is able to inspire the entire team by coordinating their wills together. This is the glory of a leader. He is able to make the whole team think like one man. Ability to coordinate others' wills and converge them towards purposeful action, towards the goal of that organization, towards the goal of that corporate. This is a leader. A leader is not just one who meets with the profit expectations, who raises his company's bottom lines. That is secondary. A leader is mainly an inspiration. And to get the charisma of a leader, there are certain qualities required, which you should develop in order to become a leader. You understand? Performance is number one important, no doubt. But along with that, these qualities which I am going to spell out one by one now, this is even more important for you to shine like a leader, because you know, to be able to make other people follow you, it depends entirely on the charisma of your personality. Personality में अगर ये चीजें हो तो naturally you will be able to command leadership. And if this is lacking, then well, it's a struggle. A leader can face an enormous amount of struggle if these qualities are lacking. So we will just go into these qualities. You see, effective leadership qualities means first thing is right understanding and decision making. This is the very heart of leadership. Right understanding का मतलब है clarity of vision. I told you a leader sees something more than what others can see, and that comes through a clear mind, है ना? Or by knowing too many things, does it come? You must be updated with all knowledge available, but clarity of thinking should be there most of all. With clear understanding, right understanding, you will be able to take right decisions. So this we will exhaustively study in another session, but here I am just mentioning to you the qualities of effective leadership. And the second most important quality is a strong will to translate decisions into action. Just knowing what is the right thing to do is not enough. You should be able to implement it, execute it. And if you are able to do that, you will see the whole team will follow you. Many times we know what is the right thing to do, but we are not able to do it. है ना? ये common problem है. In your own life, you see, आपको पता है सुबह उठना अच्छी बात है, but उठ पाते हो? Are you able to do it? Many things we keep as goals. We want to achieve them sincerely, but we are not able to do. Why? Willpower lacking? So now we will see what are the qualities required in order to boost our will, in order to bring into our life effective decision making. These are some of the qualities I have outlined here. More of this will be said later on, but here you just notice these qualities. You see, honesty and integrity first of all. A leader is honest to the core. Eisenhower, who was the 34th President of the United States, he once said, integrity is unquestionably the foremost quality of a leader. He is 100% reliable. He believes in the core values of the organization, of the nation. The core belief systems are part of his being. He will not step out an inch from there. So, ऐसी sincerity, honesty, integrity हो तो there is the possibility of you being a great leader. If you play with basic values, if you compromise with basic values, you cannot be a leader. See this for yourself. If you know what your company expects from you, and you take it lightly, you can't be a leader in that company. You must be adamant about it. यही बात है. Honesty and integrity of purpose. This should be something very clear in your lives. And this is the very first quality of leadership. Next is confidence. A leader exudes confidence, just pours forth confidence. Why? What does confidence come from? किससे आता है confidence? Knowledge. Yes, and again your ability to think correctly. You see, if your knowledge is original, your mind is quite clear, you will always be confident. And if you lack confidence, you know nobody is going to follow you. It is the leader alone who instills confidence in others. If your entire team has to become effective and confident, the leader should be, this doesn't mean overconfidence. It means he has so much faith in himself that he is able to throw out that faith on others. Vivekananda gave this definition of a theist and an atheist. He said an atheist today is one who has no faith in himself. इतना faith हमको हमारे ऊपर आना चाहिए. Whether you believe in God or not, it is a different thing. But if you don't believe in yourself, you are an atheist. आप कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे. So you must believe in yourself first. Then you believe in God. And if you have to believe in yourself, you must know yourself. You must be able to handle yourself well. You must be able to be clear about everything in your mind. If there are vague concepts and ideas, if you are compromising on values, you cannot be a leader. You can never be confident. You understand? So all this involves a certain amount of self-knowledge. Please see this. Then, a leader who is unsure of himself never inspires anybody. So the very third quality is inspiration through clarity. If you are unsure of what you are saying, what is the purpose of your, what you want your team members to achieve, then you cannot be a leader in any way. So the third is inspiration. The leader should personally have so much of this element in him. He must be so inspired, so confident that he is able to instill that inspiration into others. And remember this, it is the example that you set which will be followed. A leader is an exemplar of the values he holds. You understand? So you see, your subordinates are always watching you, not just hearing you. They will keep watching you, and if they see how you react to a particular situation, in any kind of a situation, if you are reacting with anger, with hatred, they are not going to admire you. So आपका behavior, आपके reactions, your general personality matters a lot in leadership. So इसको build करना है. Through this course we are going to build you up. Doesn't matter what, you see, even your performance, if a leader falters somewhere also, if he is basically a man of very good character, very high integrity, you know, people will take that in their stride. Do you see this? Not that you will be successful in all enterprises, somewhere you may falter in your performance, but if you are basically 100% reliable, you will be successful anywhere. So ये EQ की बात है, your emotional quotient, spiritual quotient, all this should be very high, and you will be successful anywhere. Next is empathy. देखिए आप, empathy is the another characteristic of a leader. Empathy का मतलब है, आपको पता है what is empathy? Putting yourself in the shoes of others, feeling what that other person is feeling, not just standing apart and trying to think, oh, what that person might be feeling. Actually feeling what that other person must be going through, इसको empathy कहते हैं. It is extreme sympathy, putting yourself into the shoes of others. So unless you are able to put yourself into the shoes of your subordinates, you will not understand their problems, you will not be able to provide encouragement and support. So empathy leader के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी बात है. So this we will be studying what empathy means. It draws the whole team close. It is only empathy which will work for you. Finally, the kindness you have shown, the understanding you have shown, this will bring the team together. So ये एक चीज़ है. Then commitment and passion. What you want to achieve must be your number one commitment and passion. What you want the company to achieve should be the number one commitment, isn't it? If you yourself are not passionate about it, can you inspire a group? So see this, and when they actually see you getting your hands muddy, actually entering the work scenario and working out things, they will put in their best. So this commitment, this passion, this ability to get into the work situation 100%, it is required to be a successful leader. So you actually infuse new energy into them. The next is, he must be communication skills he must have. Obviously, you know, words can do unthinkable things. They can motivate a person to manifest great actions. So you must be exactly able to communicate what you want to achieve, what you want the group to achieve. And through your communication skills, you must be able to inspire them to achieve that. If you are not able to communicate effectively the goals before the team, you will not be an effective leader. So communication skills are very important. For communication to become effective, further on, your head should be very clear. The goal should be clear to yourself first, isn't it? ये शब्दों का जाल नहीं है communication. Please see this. A good talker is not necessarily a good leader. The idea, the concept of what you are trying to achieve must be very clear in your head first, which means what you have worked on it. Then you will be an effective communicator, and that communication will help. It creates marvels actually. Every great leader has shown in some form this kind of communication skills. Many great leaders don't even need too much of communication. Do you know that? Just the personality will radiate what they want, what they know, what they have. Then accountability. Obviously, you must be accountable for your actions. You must be perfectly 100% accountable for whatever the actions of the whole group, the whole team. A leader is one who takes a little more than his share of the blame and a little less than his share of the credit, he is an accountable person, isn't it? अगर जब credit हो तभी then only that I take, and the blame all goes to the group, then you cannot be a leader. Leadership itself means you are prepared to take the blame, even though you are not the person to be blamed. You are prepared to take the blame of the entire team and give the credit to others. And this is connected with the next one also. You see, delegation and empowerment. A leader is not expected to micromanage everything, but he is able to empower others to do it. He is able to delegate work with faith in them, with respect to them, and with the conviction, with the support they require, the resources they require, with the conviction that they will bring out their best. So, delegation you see, in organizational skills, you learn this at the very first point, delegation and empowerment. Unless you empower people at all levels, you will not have a great organization anywhere. If you shirk at empowering people, you will only have a disorganization. And delegation, which means what? You are not expected to go and micromanage every team member. You are supposed to give them their duties and see that they are given the support, the resource to do it well. This is the job of a leader. So, this is another important thing. Make people take up responsibility and you will see they do it very well. You get the idea? A leader is able to inspire that sense of responsibility in others. You know, basically kya hota hai in leadership, the leader's will is so well developed and dominant that all wills become subservient and obedient to him. This is what happens basically. Because he has developed himself in such a way, naturally he is able to motivate others towards a particular goal. This naturally happens. So, पहले अपने आप में ये करना है ना. If you want to be a leader, first of all you must reach that level of motivation, that level of dedication, that level of realization of whatever goal you want to achieve. And then that sharp developed mind which is bubbling with this energy of gaining the goal, that will be able to transmit that inspiration to others. So, basically this is what leadership means. Vivekananda used to say, a leader is born, a leader cannot be made. इसका मतलब है ऐसे संस्कार होने चाहिए. All this that we are discussing, basically it has to do with mental faculties. Please see this. ऐसे संस्कार होने चाहिए कि naturally you are able to exude all this very high effective qualities. Then finally is creativity and innovation. Once Steve Jobs was asked this, that what's the difference between a leader and a follower, and he said, you know, the difference is this: a leader is an innovator. Originally he can contribute. A follower cannot contribute originally. Creativity has not developed. A leader is able to, as I told you, see all sides together. He is a visionary in a sense, and that is why I try to develop this. This is especially a right-brained ability, which means what? Out of the box thinking. You are able to find solutions in such a way, it's completely original. In whatever you take up, if you have developed this faculty, this is a real gift, I tell you. If you have developed this faculty, you will shine anywhere. So, basically he is a researcher, he is an innovator, he contributes originally to any area. So, if all these qualities are put together, you will get a really effective leader. Now, let me tell you, I will tell you a small story to show you the importance of Karma Yoga. We have another 10 minutes. Just listen to this story. Yeah, this story is trying to tell you why it is important to know the principles of Karma Yoga. This is just an introductory class for you. We will go into detail about many of these topics in the next few classes. This story is just telling you actually क्या important है life में, or whatever you say, how to overcome our difficulties. इस जीवन को तर जाने के लिए actually क्या चाहिए. This story is pointing out towards that. This story was told by Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. आपने सुना होगा? He was a great saint. Sri Ramakrishna's story this is. It so happened that there was a village, and in that village there was a river running across the village, and many times the villagers had to cross that river to go to the other side of the village to sell whatever their vegetables or milk. So every morning they used to go on the boat. The boat would be full of these villagers. They would go to the other bank. After some time they would come back. So one morning all of them gathered, and they saw in the boat a Panditji was sitting. In those days, you see, long time back, the Panditji was the only educated man in the village. All the others were simple village folk. ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं आता था उनको. So they sought the Panditji and at once bowed down to him. And then Panditji said, "हाँ बैठो." Then all of them sat in the boat. And then now their purpose is to go to the other bank of the river to sell milk and vegetables and all that. So as the boat started moving across the river, it was a wide river. So it started moving, and then the Panditji started showing his knowledge. He said, "आप लोगों को सांख्य आता है? सांख्य philosophy?" They said, "नहीं पंडित जी." तो योग का कुछ आता होगा? Do you know yoga? No, we don't know yoga either. तो वेदांत कुछ आता होगा? No, वेदांत भी नहीं पता है. आप लोगों को कुछ भी नहीं पता है. जीवन का मकसद क्या है यही नहीं पता है. कभी पढ़ा नहीं, सोचा नहीं. He went on like this for a long time. Now it so happened that when they were in the middle of the river, a storm started brewing. And the waves started rolling, the boat started swinging, and everybody got frightened, and there was lightning and thunder, and the storm increased, and everyone got frightened that the boat will capsize. And that is what happened, you know, the boat started shaking very heavily. And then one of the villagers asked Panditji, "Panditji, आपको तैरना आता है? Do you know swimming?" And Panditji said, "नहीं, वो नहीं आता मुझे." Then he said, "आपको सांख्य आता है, वेदांत आता है, योग आता है, सभी आता है, लेकिन आपको तैरना नहीं आता, अब डूब जाएंगे आप." And that is what happened. The boat capsized. It turned over, and all the villagers swam and went, but the Panditji drowned. If you do not know how to work properly, you will drown in the sea of life, even if you know everything else. यही चीज़ है. If you know how to work properly, तर जाओगे आप. You will use your karma, your profession, your career, your family, your relationships, everything in order to reach a very elevated goal of life. Otherwise, you can make a mess out of life. Karma can be used to bind one or to free one. The same action. So the ideal of karma yoga is to so use karma, to so use your action that it frees you, that it brings great good to you and to others. This is the art of effective action. Now, let me go a little bit into the theory of karma. थोड़ा philosophy भी पढ़ना है इस class में. Okay, whether you like it or not, I know you are all science people, but थोड़ा सा philosophy touch you must have, because you know, philosophy and science are not two different things. Both of them arise from the same type of mind, a thinking mind, a mind which is clear enough to understand the connection between things. Operational principle of karma is causation. Causation theory, I just mentioned it previously. This is the universal law of karma. This law is very simple, I'll tell you. You see, it's very interesting also. What does this law say? Every effect has a cause. Obviously, अगर एक इफेक्ट हो तो उसका एक कॉज है. उसको हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं? इसको कहते हैं कार्य, उसको कहते हैं कारण. So this is a logic actually in Indian philosophy. कार्य कारण अनन्यत्व न्याय कहते हैं इसको. इसका मतलब है, if there is an effect, it presupposes a cause, and the effect is not different from the cause. It is dependent on the cause, and if you want to remove the effect, you have to remove the cause. It's so simple, this theory. So now on this theory is based entire karma yoga. The laws of karma are based on this theory. What is the meaning of this? देखिए, whatever situation you are finding yourself in today, it is set into motion by what you have done in the past, because every effect means there is a cause to it, and what you are going to do today is going to decide your future. है ना? अभी आप अच्छा पढ़ोगे and you put your mind, apply your mind to the things that it should be applied to, you will be very successful in the future. So cause and effect are always in relationship. This is what is called law actually. Law का मतलब है the relationship between a cause and an effect. A particular cause and a particular effect is what we call law. So the law of causation connects the cause and the effect. Now, does that mean that I have whatever forces have created my present, I have no hold over them? Can we change karma basically? Can we change or no? It is all fixed. Many people say this, you know, यहाँ पर जो लिखा है वो fixed है, हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Only lazy people say this. You can change karma anytime through your will. This is the great glory of human life, that you have been given the freedom of choice, the freedom of will, the freedom of intention, and the freedom of identification also. Whether you choose to identify with the body or not at any given point of time, it's your choice. Whether you choose to identify with the mind, intellect, or any other object, it's your choice. You have been given all this freedom. Using this, what karma you produce, that is going to decide your destiny. इसका मतलब क्या है basically? You are in charge of your life. You are in charge of your future. It is not that it is all prefixed, predestined, and I cannot make changes. Through your will, through your decisions, through your right intentions, you can change anything in your life. So karma is not an absolute law. It's a relative law. विवेकानंद ये हमेशा बोलते थे, you are the creators of your destiny. You create your destiny through your karma. And he also used to say, you are what your thoughts have made you, so take care of what you think. Thought is mental karma, isn't it? There is a physical karma and there is a mental karma. You take a medicine and go to sleep, or you divert your attention to something good. Isn't it? Maybe you went and saw a very good movie. You do something else to take your mind away from the pain. So now you see, I can choose to sit and lament the whole night. I have a headache, I have a headache, I have a headache. Or I can take a preventive, a curative. Or I can divert my attention to other things. Now the choice is mine, what I do. So this is the point. Anything, any experience, you have the power to change how you are going to feel that experience. You have that power. ऐसा मत कहिए कि ये तो मेरा कर्म है. Now the headache is my karma if I say, and I don't do anything about it. I am only going to suffer for it, isn't it? I have in me the power to divert my attention to something else, to remedy the pain. I have in me all these powers. If I don't use them and say, oh ये मेरा कर्म है, क्या करे, मेरा कर्म इसलिए इतना दर्द है. If I go on saying this, is there any meaning? इसीलिए we are telling you, your karma is not an absolute law, it is in your hands. Recently, you know, in our school here, I had a marvelous experience with a very small boy, 5-year-old, his name is Umar. So I was giving him a punishment one day. He is a very nice child who is constantly laughing and giggling and always happy and energetic like this. So he did some mischief and I was giving him a punishment. मैंने कहा कान पकड़ो. So he caught his ears and then he started giggling because it was tickling him. And then मैंने कहा ये कोई तरीका हुआ punishment लेने का, हंसो मत. Then somehow he stood still and then I said चलो बस की लगाओ. And then he started doing it, but it was all fun and play for him. He started falling and laughing and like early morning it's like an exercise for him. So I thought, you see, even a punishment can be taken like this. And he made all the teachers laugh, everybody laughed and everyone was happy. Because he was so happy, उसके लिए वो punishment ही नहीं हुआ. So you see, your attitude can change a punishment into something else. All of us laughed at him. All of us felt happy with his attitude. So this is the point. Ab he could have got very angry or sorrowful or blamed for having got a punishment early in the morning. Nothing of this he did. So ये देखिए, जब हम कहते हैं ना हमारा कर्म है जो ये हुआ, आपको लेने की शक्ति नहीं है. Any negative thing coming into your life, don't allow your intelligence to desert you at that moment. This is real karma yoga, practical karma yoga. उस समय में आपकी पूरी एनर्जी ऐसी चलनी चाहिए that you are able to happily overcome that problem. A problem is nothing but something pointing you towards, well, you should move this way, not that way. That is the meaning of a problem. So उसको ऐसे ही लेना है, with a cheerful face and heart you must face it and find the right solution to it without going into depression, without lamenting, without going into any negativity. So this choice is entirely in your hands, isn't it? अब उमर को किसी ने सिखाया नहीं ऐसे punishment लेने को, but उसकी प्रवृत्ति ऐसी थी. His nature is so joyful, for him everything is fun. So ऐसे लिया जा सकता है anything. That is why I say if something can be changed, it's not absolute. It's a relative law, karma. इसलिए don't blame your karma. At least you people should never do it. कि ये मेरा कर्म है अब ऐसा ही होगा. No, you have the ability to stand up and change the situation. And actually Sankhya will tell you, अब ज़्यादा समय नहीं है, but I will just show you one slide which will show you how exactly your mind works, how exactly what is the energy flowing in you which is making this entire system function. इसलिए भगवद गीता में बार बार रेफरेंस करते हैं प्रकृति is doing all the work through your instrumentation. You are exactly not working. Do you believe in this that you are not working? आप देखिए अपने physiological activities ही देखिए. Are you in charge? Now if I say well, are you permitting your heart to beat? It is beating by itself. Whether you permit or not, it will beat. Your blood flow, is it asking your permission? It is flowing by itself. अब कौन कर रहा है ये सब काम? It is vital energy flowing within you, which is a part of Prakriti. समझ में आ रहा है? So भगवद गीता हमेशा ये कहती रहती है. If you read the shlokas, you will know. Prakritim yanti bhutani. Prakriti is doing all the work. You make yourself a fit instrument to direct that energy to positive ways. That is all. But all work is always done by Prakriti. You see, this slide will show you. Prakriti, its evolutes are your buddhi, ahankar, mind, the subtle elements, the senses, the motor organs, the gross elements. ये सब प्रकृति के ही अंश हैं. आपके बीच में कहाँ आता है ये सब? You try to figure it out. Where are you in all of this? You see, you are working through all this, but the energy which is doing all the work is the energy of Prakriti. ये basic Sankhya psychology है. So only thing which is you can say which you can manipulate is your will, not the energy flowing through you. You understand? Through your will, you can use all of this to perform specific work, to go in a specific direction. But the energy itself you are not creating, isn't it? This is the basic law of energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. Law of conservation of energy. It is always going on. It is passing through your system. इसी को हम प्रकृति कह रहे हैं, cosmic energy. And you only have the ability to handle which way that energy will go through your will. How it will be used, for what purpose it will be used. So this much responsibility you have. You understand? But you don't create energy. So actually you don't create work. That's why in the Gita they will tell you, Prakrityaiva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. Prakriti is doing all the work. An ahankari will say, I am doing it. The energy is not yours. You understand? Energy is flowing through your system. Through your will, direct that energy to do good work. This is the purpose of human life. If this much you understand, you will understand the spirit of Karma Yoga, the ideal of Karma Yoga. ये आइडिया आपके लिए इम्पॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि बाद में भी ये आइडिया आएगी, इसलिए ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. आई एम नॉट जनरेटिंग द एनर्जी इन माई सिस्टम, इजंट इट? एनर्जी इज ऑलरेडी देयर. I only have to learn to direct it properly. That's my job. So this is the art of Karma Yoga. We'll stop here. Time is up. I think there's some announcement to be made.